Racial reckoning.
Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd, it kind of impacted me personally, is it made me look backwards. I'm thinking about, this is the same thing that happened with Sean Bell, Amadou Diallo. So the same thing was happening in the 90s, and in the 90s, I'm responding to it. But I have to recognize, for a lot of young people, they grew up in a Barack Obama era. So their perspective on racial issues is much different than mine. So I need to figure out, as an elder, how do I empathize with these young students who are coming to a realization that maybe America might be racist.
It's extremely painful as a human, and I think I say that intentionally because racism, as it relates to African people, negates our humanity.
I found myself like obsessed with watching everything that was happening with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and I kept telling myself I was going to turn it off, but I couldn't because I wanted to watch the whole thing all the way through the court trial. I was obsessed for a minute around Breonna Taylor because of the treatment of that situation. That was so incredibly egregious, how that went down in the treatment of her boyfriend. And so I know I took that all into my body. I didn't break at first because the anger was so strong. And then at some point, I just cried and cried and cried and cried. It seemed like for a long time.
Although I knew it happened, seeing it on, widescreen just brings up those feelings.
I started to kind of move through the world differently, more questions about safety, more where are we going and why, stopped running after Ahmaud. Just stopped for multiple reasons. One, mourning. Two, not feeling safe. Three, also feeling too privileged to run. He can't run anymore.
Each morning when I would go run these warehouses, I started out by stretching in front of this office. And of course, during the early months of COVID, all the offices were, abandoned. I could look into the office, and see people's paperweights and their papers and everything just sitting on their desks the way they left them. How we all just left our stuff one day. As I looked into those offices, I started to see myself in the reflection. I started to think about Ahmaud Arbery day after day after day. And once in a while a police car would pass by. I just started to think, man, this is the wrong place to be. That could be me. And I started to see Ahmaud Arbery in the mirror. Plays on my sense of safety. Just in terms of mental health in general, 2020 wasn't good.